The art of floral design throughout history. Floral design, the object I chose to dig deeper on. For quite some time, I have found florals to be something I had an incredible interest in, especially since I started working for a florist this year. As I investigated this object and did my research, I asked myself, what makes this special? What sets floral design apart? How can I relate this to, say, paint on a canvas or a print? What elements of floral design are similar to what we have learned thus far? Now, I have found that throughout the years, that floral design has been used in many cultures by many people and in many ways to depict natural beauty by bringing about a joy and even generating a greater sense of life, since the flowers are living. Dating all the way back to at first the ancient Egyptians and even the ancient Greeks, that they were some of the very first to use these blooming bits of nature to create art. Ancient Egyptians enjoyed using the lotus flower, as well as many other flowers, as a way of decoration and beautification. They would arrange the flowers in lines, ranging in colors as well as in large basins and or bowls, like for table arrangements. Now the Greeks followed the era of the ancient Egyptians. They used floral design primarily for ceremonial reasons. Commonly, flowers would be scattered across the floor or made into wreaths and head crowns, much like today's popular bridal accessory. The Japanese have their own take on floral design. Ikebana. Ikebana is not just an art, but is a lifestyle, assembling blooms in different heights, colors, shapes, and even size. The thing I love most about Ikebana is the unique line this art form portrays. Elizabeth Palmer has such a wonderful description of Ikebana, of how it is so much more than just putting flowers together. Ikebana is a path or a way of self-realization. To take up Ikebana is to embark on a journey of self-exploration. Georgia O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe is a brilliant painter and is known for unusual paintings of flowers. Black Iris is a perfect example of an iconic Georgia O'Keeffe painting. This up close of an iris and a dark, almost monochromatic coloring is still so unique and so intriguing, even through its simplicity. Looking closely, you can depict a deep violet as well as softer hues of that exact same color, intertwined and mixed in with the grays and the whites. The lines within this oil on canvas capture the viewer as well, ranging from an almost indistinct perimeter to lines that are sharp and clear and are very easily depicted in this painting. Her painting reminds me a lot of floral design in creating extravagant centerpieces or gorgeous bridal bouquets. Even within an arrangement, do you need line to create symmetry or create depth and dimension within that piece? Heading back in time to the Teotihuacan, Mexico, we find the incredible painting of the Teotihuacan water goddess. This wall-sized painting of the goddess is standing upright and tall with many limbs, almost as if she is a tree, and is sprinkling life-giving water to the earth below her. As the water hits the ground, you can see that it begins to bloom to life. Everywhere around her is growing and changing and bringing forth such beautiful blooms and is really what brings life to everything around her. I love that depiction, as the almost magical water droplets make everything grow and springs forth life. Now that is what I think I appreciate most about floral design. Though it be art, it is alive. It's breathing, it's drinking. And in some circumstances, if planted and not uprooted or cut, it has the ability to grow. It is fragile and yet delicate, but at the same time, it has the ability to be strong and sturdy. I find such joy and life in living organisms and in nature. This painting reminds me so much of that. It reminds me of what I truly love most about floral design. Now, we have spent most of our time talking about all these other amazing places and people and times and how they are all connected and similar to modern day floristry. Yet, we have not yet gone over it ourselves. Modern day floral designing really does incorporate something from each one of these things we have talked about, but at the same time has its own spin on things. Modern day floristry still has a lot to do with those big basins and bowls for centerpieces like the Egyptians. And brides today love the flower crowns, such as the ones from the Greek era. Placement and line and coloring is everything, just like it is for Ikebana in the Japanese, or even with Georgia O'Keeffe in her Black Iris painting. And as always, it brings forth life, just like the water goddess from Teotihuacan, Mexico. Now, even though it incorporates all of those things from the past, there's still so much about it that is original. For example, one thing that has become so common is to add succulents or kale, even fruits to arrangements these days. Long, billowing bridal bouquets tied up with silk ribbon, even gradient bouquets are popular, with colors ranging from the dark, deep purples or whatever color you choose to easily, slowly going into those lighter colors. There's so much more that has changed within these many years, but is still so similar. As you can see, floral design throughout the ages has stood still, and each generation and people group has gleaned new ideas and thoughts from the one before. All of them, the Egyptians, the Greeks, Japanese, Mexicans, and even people nowadays, use floral design to capture beauty, honor, and to define themselves and or others. And that is what I love most, and that is why I chose to research floral design.